Check, check, 1, 2. This is conductorelectronic.com talking about the Roland TB-3 16-step sequencer, and I'm going to be going over this in great detail in 9 videos over the next 9 weeks, so check out the other videos. As always, if you like what you see, ring the bell, subscribe, like it, comment, share, and I'd love to hear what you have to say. So just jumping right into this, I'm going to select the keyboard button here. You'll see this button lit up that says keyboard, and you actually see a 1-octave keyboard that you can play. Like a keyboard, obviously. This says C30, that's the sound that I'm generating here. It's a keyboard sound, and there's dozens to choose from. And if you jump over a couple of spots from where it says keyboard, it says pattern select here. Here's the other aspect of the machine is you can create patterns and then play them through. You can select the keyboard later or change it whenever you feel like it. The keyboard and the pattern are not attached to one another. So the keyboards are sounds that you can manipulate to some extent. They come pre-programmed from TB-3. The patterns also come fully stocked from the TB-3. But you can change them, you can rewrite them, you can make your own from scratch, and you can do a lot of different things to manipulate them after the fact. So I'm just going to jump right in, and I'm going to show you how you can record a pattern on the TB-3. There's 2 different ways to do that. You've got step record here, and you've got real-time record here. So step record, and when I push this button, you're going to hear that beep, and you'll see this light here. So that sound there that you just heard is the sound built into the first 16th note, and these steps are 16th notes of a bar. So the first note is the first 16th, and then the second is the second 16th, and so on. So I'm going to show you in real-time record how you can just create something from scratch. Let's hear what we've got to begin with right now on the pattern. This is bank 7, pattern 4. You've got up to 8 banks with 8 pattern spaces per bank, so 64 spaces that you can create patterns onto. And I'm just going to show you first the real-time record, but I'll play this first. See this flashing light here? This is a play and stop button, so I'll play this. And this is a pattern built in from Roland. Now if I touch tempo here, you'll see 84, that's 84 beats per minute. I can change it. I can actually go up to 300 beats per minute, and I can go down to 40 beats per minute, which is quite slow. Anyways, I'll just stop around 120, something in the middle. So let's see what we can do with this. I'm going to hit the real-time record button. I'll press play. You're going to hear what's already playing, but at this point, because real-time record is lit, I can then adjust these, and these are all keys, right? So this is a G note, so this is going to quantize things into the 16th notes closest to where I've tapped. So everything that I hit is going to adjust so that it plays perfectly into the bar. I'm going to hit some C notes here. And I'm going to stop it right there because it sounds a little confusing. What I'm hearing is what I'm recording and also what's going on behind that was already recorded there to begin with. The only notes that I've changed are the notes that I've selected in real-time record, and they're going to nudge to the closest step. So you're going to hear the old steps from the pattern where I haven't filled in new steps, and you're hearing like 2 patterns at once, and it's a little bit confusing. So I'm going to show you how you can erase this entire pattern and start from scratch by holding down pattern select, touching the top left corner of this touchpad, and right here you'll see above it says clear/restore. And now that I've touched it while holding pattern select, the play stop button is flashing, so I'm going to click that. And now we've got a clear pattern. So if I press play, it is playing. You can actually see the steps running along here with the LED lights, but you're not hearing any sound. It's because I've totally cleared it. So I'll just stop that now, and I can start over fresh. If I go into step record, real-time record is how I started recording, but I'll show you step record real quick here. It's going to show up on the first 16th note, and you can change the note that you want to alter by adjusting the volume knob. But let's start with the first 16th note. Let's do something really easy. I'm just going to hit the C note on the first 16th. As soon as I hit that note, it nudged me over to the second 16th note. But I'm just going to walk on over to the 5th, and I'm going to play quarter notes here of C. So I'll go to the 9, hit a C, go to the 13, hit a C. Now I press play. You can hear it, the 16th notes, right? So I'll stop that. Now I'm going to go back to step record. It's going to start me on the beginning, the first. But let's go over to the third 16th, and on the alternating quarter notes, I'm going to hit an F. You can hear as I'm running along the value knob and going through the steps that you'll actually hear the note that's being played on the step once I move into that step. But let's press play here. So now I've got C's on the first quarters, and I've got F's on the second quarters, if you will. So I've created a little bit of a pattern to start with. I can go into real-time record whenever I want. You can always change things, and I should say that the TB-3 actually saves things as you go. So that's really handy. You don't have to press save. You don't have to worry about losing something you've been recording, except you also want to make sure that you're not recording over top of something that you wanted to save in the first place. And you can back up all of this to your computer, so you should be doing that on a regular basis so that you can always recall or restore the information if you've lost something by accident. So let's check real-time record. I'm going to press play and we'll hear what's already been played. But I'm going to add some stuff to it. I'm going to kind of ad-lib here. This is where you can use the keyboard, and as you're playing the notes, you're going to hear them dumped into the beat that's already playing. Okay, so there's something I've just made up on the spot. And again, it's been saved. You'll see if I go into pattern select, and this is bank 8, pattern 8. Let's just move it and bring it back to bank 8, pattern 8. Press play. You'll hear that that's what I've recorded, and it's already saved. But now that I've got this pattern, I'm going to press play, and I'm going to show you some of these knobs here. Next to the volume, which is on the far left, you've got a cutoff, a resonance, an accent knob, and an effect knob. And I can explain more of these in detail, but for now you can just hear. So you can shape your sound that way, and I should say the effect is actually attached to the keyboard sound. So each keyboard sound has its own effect. They are inherently attached to one another. Some of them might be delays, some of them might be reverbs. There's a various amount of effects that are all attached to specific keyboards. So you can control the effect, but you can't actually change the effect unless you change the keyboard. Now the accent is actually something that you build into your pattern writing. If you want to accent certain notes to emphasize them, you can do that, and later you can adjust the level at which you're going to hear the accent. Cutoff and resonance again are going to shape your sound to give you the cutoff and the resonance that sounds best to you. There's a lot of other things involved with the TB-3. You can do shuffle beats, you can change the tempos, you can do triplets. You can actually use less or more than 16 steps if you want to create a pattern that's shorter or longer or in a different time signature. There's an XY play. I'm going to talk more about that in another video, along with the envelope modulator. And there's a lot of things you can do in here that I'll go over in the next 9 videos to just show you all of the things that you can do with the TB-3. So stay tuned, leave a comment, like and subscribe, check out the other videos. It's conductorelectronic.com. Thanks, folks.